What Chevrolet engine only lasted 1 year in a square body Chevy? Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to Square Body Stuff. I'm Chad. I'm going to try to keep up with a new segment called Motor Monday. Now, I know they're technically an engine, but if you're really that concerned about what I call the internal combustion chamber engine, it may not be the channel for you, but if you can put up with it, stick around. Today we're going to talk about the small block Chevy that lasted only 1 year in the square body Chevy and GMC trucks. Before we get into that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit that notification bell next to the subscription button. That'll give you notifications when I put new videos out. Hit the like button. Give us a comment. Let me know what you think of the channel, or if you have any questions or any suggestions of what you might want to see. I'll do my best to accommodate that. I do have some projects coming up. Pretty much always got ongoing projects, just a matter of time getting to them. But let me know if there's anything specific you want to see, and I'll try to get to that. Now, I'd also like to invite you to go check out my other YouTube channel. I just got started trying to get it off the ground. It's called Regular Stuff, and it's the regular stuff that I do outside of working on square bodies. So go check that out, and give me a like, share, and subscribe over there also. I got plenty of stuff I want to try to get on that channel. It could be anything from working on my other vehicles, or leather work, or whatever else I do, the regular stuff I do other than square bodies. Now, while you're down that description box, check out the Teespring link. That's for my merchandise. I've got shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, a few other things in there, a lot of the designs that I've done myself. I think a lot of you guys will appreciate them. Go check those out. Now let's get into the topic of this video, the mystery motor I've been talking about that only came out for 1 year in the square body GM pickups. It was a 1 year only, and the year was 1973. The engine size was a 307 V8. Just a quick history lesson on the 307. It came out in 1968 as a direct replacement for the 283 as the small displacement V8 engine for the GM lineup. Now, as far as square body trucks go, they were only available in that truck for 1 year only, and that'd be 1973, the debut year for the square body Chevrolet truck. Now, with that said, there may be a rare case where you might have a 74 that came out with a 307 in it, but it'd probably be a very early production 74. You know, that there could be instances where that might possibly happen. So from 74 to 76, the smallest displacement V8 you could get in a square body truck would be a 350. In 76, they came out with the 305. Now, I've already discussed the 305 in a past video. It just came out a few days ago. I'll put a link up here to go check that out. Now, the bore and stroke that makes up the 307 is a bore size of 3.875 and a stroke of 3.25. Now, for some of you, this bore and stroke individually may look familiar to you. And like I said earlier, it was a direct replacement for the 283. And the 283 and the 307 share the same bore size at 3.875. If this 3.25 stroke looks familiar, that's the same stroke as a 327. Basically, it is a 283 with a 327 crank in it, a stroker 283. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, I thought that's how they got the 302 is a 283 and 327. And you'd be correct, but it's just the opposite. The 302 had the 4-inch bore of the 327 and a 3-inch stroke of the 283. Just the opposite of the 307. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the 302 because they were never available in a square body truck, and that's what this channel is basically geared towards. I may do a video about them later on down the road. It would be kind of cool if they did come out with a special edition truck back in the day that had a high revving 302 in it. Now, GM didn't just take 327 crankshafts off the shelf and throw them into 283 blocks. The reason that wouldn't work is because the 327 crankshaft with the medium journals would not fit into 283 blocks with the small journals. Now, what do I mean by medium journal and small journal? There's 3 different main journal sizes. They have the small, medium, and large. I'm not going to go over large. It only pertains to the 400 small block. But the small and medium journals are as follows: the 2-300 for the mains on the small journal, with the 2-000 for the rods on a small journal crankshaft. Those are kind of the old school ones. They had the old school V8s had that. Early 302s, the 283s, early 327s had the small journal crankshaft. Now around 67, 68, they started going to the medium journal crankshaft in the 327s and also the 302s. And the medium journals have a 2-450 main journal size and a 2-100 on the rods. Now the cylinder blocks were completely different castings than the 283s. They shared the same bore size, but other than that, they were a different casting numbers. They were only available with the 2-bolt main and with the large main journals. Now the crankshafts were a little bit different. All the 307 crankshafts shared the same casting numbers as a medium journal 327. The one thing with the crankshafts is there are 327 crankshafts that weren't used in 307. I'm not sure the casting numbers right off the top of my head, but those were the forged steel crankshafts. To my knowledge, they didn't ever use a forged steel crankshaft from the factory in a 307. Now there is a possibility that you could find one that was used in an industrial application, because after they were discontinued for the automotive industry, they went on to live in the marine world and possibly in industrial applications too, which could possibly have had a forged steel crank in them. I'll put a link down in the description box below so you guys can check out some of the casting numbers and do some research on your own. All right, to wrap up this video, we've gone over the specifics of it, a little bit of history of it, my personal opinion, I'll throw that in there. If you have one, and that's what you have to play with, that's what your truck came with, by all means, play around with it. They can make a little bit of power and be fun to play with. If you're just trying to build a motor to really make some horsepower, they're probably not going to be the best candidate. But you know what? Whatever you guys want to do, have fun with it. That's the main thing. Well, that's pretty much the basics of the Chevrolet 307 that was only available in the Squarebody trucks for 1 year. If I've left anything out, or if you have any questions or anything to add to this, please leave it in the comment box below. Do your best to keep it on the positive side. If it is negative, at least make it constructive negative. Till next time, y'all keep your square bodies rolling, and we'll catch you later.